Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video, I have my friend Miriam. Yes, we have the same name, we're studying the same course, we're both Nigerian.
She copies me.
How old are you? No, answer.
I'm old enough.
How old are you? Please. We're both Nigerian, we're both Yoruba, we're both studying the same course. So of course, naturally, we're gonna be friends. She loves me. So I thought that would be a great idea to talk about the difference between foundation year and first year medicine. So obviously you guys know that I'm doing the foundation year and she's on the
First year course.
5-year course.
Yeah.
So a lot of people asked me about how the foundation year is different from the first year, and I thought it would be great to bring Miriam here so we can talk about how different we find it. So we're just coming to the end of first semester.
Yeah.
And
1 month left.
yeah, no, I mean, it's really a month.
Yeah, it is, because I finished.
Oh, okay, yeah.
December 16th.
We have about a month left. But so I thought it would be a good idea to talk about the differences. And so let's just get started into this. Right. So the first thing I wanted to ask is in terms of entry requirements. Talk me through the process of getting into medicine, the first year program.
So I think you decide what each uni prioritizes. For example, if it's good GCSE grades, if you've got good GCSE grades, you want to go to a uni that has GCSE as one of their top priority, and then UCAT. So the exam you need to do, make sure that uni either does UCAT or BMAT. So Plymouth does UCAT exam. So you make sure you practice, make sure you do the exam properly and do well. And I think Plymouth takes UCAT quite highly, actually. So it's the GCSE grades, the UCAT grades, and then your A level. So Plymouth is A star to AA to AAA. So if you're between those grades, they would accept you, apart from contextualizing offers. I think that's it for academic things.
Personal statement?
Yes, personal statement. Same as every uni as well, I guess. It's just, why do you want to do medicine? Your workplace, your work experience, what else have you done outside of school or college that you learned that shows that you're interested in medicine. Yeah.
And how many interviews did you do?
So it's an MMI, so it's just mini stations. So it's I think it's 5 mini stations, and then they just ask the questions, for example, why do you want to study medicine and stuff, and then it's 5 minutes long to 10 minutes long for each question. And was it really Plymouth you interviewed for? Did you interview for other uni? So Plymouth was the only uni that I actually said yes to for interview, because it was because I had to think very hard with what uni I wanted to go to and how far it is. And Plymouth was not the closest, but it was the closest in terms of what I'd chosen and what uni I wanted to go to.
Well, that's brave. So you you only said yes to Plymouth. So what if you didn't get in?
Not to toot my own horn, but I thought Plymouth was the right option. I think.
So you just went in?
Yeah, because it was you can't really complain in terms of getting offers. You go with what you go with, and the interview I was quite nervous because I think theirs came quite. I don't know if it came quite. I think it came quite late. Mine was maybe a bit late, and I was just oh, okay. And then doing the interview, and then after the interview, I just thought.
I don't think we can swear, but sorry.
Doing the afterwards, it was quite nervous, nerve-wracking, because the interviews, they don't give you any, one would there was one when I was yes, I need a station one, because the one was oh, you did so amazing, and then straight face, I was at least say okay, so at least I know that I'm not chatting nonsense, just say okay, or you done or something, you just look at you.
Yeah, some of my interviews are like that as well.
But I think they're supposed to not give anything else, but I feel it wouldn't hurt to smile. Just because you smile at me doesn't mean that I'm I know for sure I'm getting in, but a smile would be okay, I know I'm saying something right, but a straight face is you're touching nonsense.
For me, well, just to generate, with foundation year, with Plymouth, I'm talking about Plymouth specifically, I think they've even changed it this year again. But when I was applying, I remember seeing ABD or something. But for foundation year, I think it was that. But I had grades good enough for the first year, so I wasn't even bothered about A-levels. Wasn't bothering me. But my issue at first was the GCSEs. They had 7 GCSE minimum requirements,
Yeah, I think it's for medicine as well. So you have to get from 4 and above. So 4,
So they just changed it, like I said in my previous videos, they just changed it this year to 5 GCSEs, and I only had 5 GCSEs. So that was like my miracle
story.
And for foundation year actually does not take UCAT.
Is it not?
They don't. I don't think a lot of people know this. Plymouth does not take UCAT.
Is it just?
Yeah. I did the UCAT, by the way. I did.
Did you?
I did, and I got like a pretty average score. I'm not going to talk about it. I paid. I did. I studied for months, guys. Months. I studied for months.
So I did it twice. The second time was I didn't really study because I wasn't feeling if I was gonna like apply for medicine. So the second time I didn't really. So I kind of took a gap year. So the second time I didn't study full.
We're gonna come back to that. We're gonna talk more on that because I feel like if we delve into that, we'll not get to the point of this video. But we'll get to that. Maybe I'll do another video and then we'll talk about why you didn't want to study medicine and whatnot. So like I said, so no UCAT for foundation year. But they do take personal statements. I think the UCAS traffic point now is like 120, so they do UCAS traffic point, not even like you have to get a.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because you can actually come to this foundation year with BTEC. A lot of people on my course actually just didn't do A levels; they did BTEC, which is really
that's good.
It's.
Because I think that's one of the misconceptions that you can't do medicine unless you do A levels.
So I know someone on my course that just did an access course. Just access to science course. Sorry, I don't know the exact name, but yeah, we study medicine now. So this foundation year really like widens.
Yeah, and I think that's how you shows that you need to do your research. That just because you've done like BTEC and you have people saying, oh, you didn't do A-level biology or chemistry, doesn't mean you can't actually do medicine. So like, do your research properly and make sure you see what unis offer and like what the alternative is.
Yeah, I think this one was definitely like burdens, like okay. But I'll talk about my interview. With my interview, I feel like although the only thing different in entry requirements foundation year medicine, there are only 2 things that are different. Well, 3 things. First one is the A levels, so they reduce the grades obviously because it's foundation year. Second one is there's no UCAT, and the third one is so the interviews are actually exactly the same. So the questions that you get is exactly the same questions that I get. Same
which makes
time.
sense because you guys don't do interviews again after you finish the foundation year. It's just straight on.
It's just straight on to it. It's the same interview. However, the points are just a bit lower. So for example, the total points I think is 150. You for foundation, for first year you have to get like 130. I think that's like the minimum or something like that. But for foundation, I think it's like 100. So they just put 20 points down. Don't quote me on that, but I'm just giving you like a broad understanding. Yeah. They just bring it a little like
lower,
a little lower foundation, but it's the same interview as
normal medicine, like normal 5-year program.
So, did you find it hard to actually apply and to get into medicine?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think one thing you need to understand is when you're applying for medicine, you have to be okay to get a no. Yeah. Like it's okay to actually get rejected. Like, I think that's one thing I learned after my first grad year. Like it's okay to actually get rejected because it's so competitive. There isn't enough medical schools and there isn't enough spaces for everyone to learn. And the thing is, they always say they need doctors, but make it easier for us to get onto the course. It's not like the course is hard enough, but just getting onto the course it's blood and sweat. Just getting onto it. So I think it's hard. And then like compared to like other degrees and stuff, you have to think, okay, do I have good GCSE grades? Okay, yes, I have good GCSE grades. Okay, everyone that's applying for medicine has good GCSE grades, so you're not special.
Honestly, do you know how many people have the same credentials as you? I already had one offer. Listen, I was thanking God for that one offer. It's if you get a no, it's not like
it's sad. Like
it's I get
very, and especially when you have someone else who's not applying for medicine. Like I've got 5 offers. Congratulations! Oh my gosh, they were saying
the ratio of people applying for the course versus the spaces that they have. It's ridiculous. It's not 1 to 2 ratio.
Guys, it's ridiculous.
It is. It is. I'll try to put some stats up what it is.
Guys, it's actually ridiculous.
So if you, it is hard to get into medicine. It's hard to get into foundation year. It's harder to get into the normal year. Don't let anybody tell you different.
That anything is easier. Like, it's not. Just because you're getting into foundation doesn't mean the application process is any easier than the 5 years. I feel like it's more harder to get into the foundation year.
There's even an extra step for us foundation year. You have to actually answer 3 questions. So why you want to go on the foundation year course? Why do you think it'll be suited for you? And one other question, why Plymouth or something like that? So we actually do an extra bit.
And that's the UCAT bit that we do.
An extra bit, and you actually have to answer that. If you don't answer that, and also you have to like meet extra circumstances. So it's not that easy. Trust me, it's not.
And I feel like when I speak to people who are in first year and they've done like foundation, like they know more.
Yeah.
Like they know more than us just starting this. Like in class you have them, we're doing like anatomy, and they know. I'm just thinking, sorry, did I miss that lesson that we learned it? But it's like, I think that's one good thing about like foundation.
Yeah.
You come into first year knowing more than the first years do.
Definitely. And you feel more confident in yourself. Like, we're just coming straight into to university, it can be a bit shaky, but when you've done the foundation, it's like, oh yeah, I know, I've been here a year, I know the city, I'm solid, you know, I've made my friends, so it's a lot easier. So, first semester, almost done. How have you found first semester?
It's a bit crazy because, like, I was talking to a friend, like, technically we've only done 1 month of actual learning. Like 1 month of actual learning, and we've been here for almost, I think this is our 3rd month.
Yeah.
Like, so we've got like literally 1 month of learning, and but the thing is, it goes so quickly.
It actually does. I just moved in. What is this?
Like, it goes so quickly. Like, for example, so with my timetable, the way it goes, it's a 2-week timetable. So we learn, like, for example, the heart and the health. So for 2 weeks you learn just about the heart and like how it affects your heart, like how it affects the body, like the anatomy of the heart and stuff. And then after that 2 weeks, you've moved on from the heart. Like, you do something else. Then you can do like the lungs and the health. And so we have things like EBL. I think we both have EBL. Yeah. So it's like a group discussion. So they give you a scenario, a case study, and you just like, in a group of 10 or so, and then you don't just like talk about it and just like ask questions. Why do you think this is that, and why do you think it's not? And then we have LSRC, which is where you really learn about like anatomy stuff, kind of really, and then you learn like the biomedical aspect. And then we've got plenaries, which are also lectures. So you just like, the lecturers are speaking at you, and then you're just learning stuff. And then you've got community placement. So Plymouth does from the beginning, like from once you start, you do early community placement. So that could be in a midwife centre, that could be in a GP place, it could be anywhere. Like, it's quite nice to have like that early on. What else? One thing I've learned that Plymouth likes a lot, they like you to reflect. You can walk down the road and they will tell you to reflect
on the journey.
How did you feel? Why did you feel this way? How was you walking down the road made you feel better?
Listen, just get ready. That's just I feel like it's actually probably in every medical school. They want
it's quite reflect. They want you to reflect on everything you do, which is quite useful because, like, as a doctor, you need to know like what you've done wrong, like what you do right. But it's a lot. Like, I've done like 3 pieces of reflective, just RPA. It's just that section. Forget the little EBL group where you do reflect. No, just specifically, I've done 3 already. I have another one in December.
Oh man. For foundation year, well, so firstly, I actually go through things that you said. So in terms of us, so you know how you said you take 2 weeks to learn about the heart or whatnot. We have 2 hours. So this is what? So we have 2 modules that are very much, one is very chemistry heavy, another one is very biology heavy. We basically spend 2 hours on one topic. Interrogate. 2 hours. Done. The next week, another topic, nervous system.
So it's like each week, just like biology this week and chemistry. Is it like
no, biology and chemistry each week.
Yeah.
But then we focus on one part of one section of the body.
Okay.
So we do the nervous system, or integument, or circulatory system. Like 2 hours every week, and that's it. Just an overview. So it's like imagine someone that hasn't done like A levels, and you're trying to give them all the basic information at once
in 2 hours.
In 2 hours, But the thing is, a lot of us have done A-levels. We get bored in the lectures.
Because like even like sometimes on our things with like the plenaries or the first week with the plenaries, there's just like a basic overview. But I think it's just to make sure that everyone
is on the same level.
Because that summer holiday, you forget a lot of things. You know?
You do. But it's like a lot. Well, I say a lot, not me, because for me it's great revision for me.
Yeah.
And also it actually goes a bit higher.
Yeah.
So they do like incorporate a lot of like things that you have not learned, but most of it is very much basic A-level stuff that you should have learned already, but a lot of people haven't. So that's what we get, 2 hours of like just going an overview of a system. Like very.
Do you like that though?
I mean, I don't mind because it's not a lot. I feel like half of it I already know, so the remaining half I'm just learning. So it's actually not that difficult for me.
So how would you feel like if you didn't do any A levels, like you didn't have any science?
Oh,
A-levels,
that would be
too much.
That would be too much. 2 hours on just like that would.
And they just come at you. Like I've learned that they don't teach you to learn; they teach you to go for the content. So they know they've taught
you. So you have to like learn it.
When it comes up in the exam, we taught you this, but
it's on the PowerPoint slide.
That's what I said.
So you don't have a mark scheme. You don't have a mark scheme, by the way. You have a PowerPoint slide. Yeah, that's your mark scheme.
And it's like, okay,
great.
They just speak at you like it's like blah 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 blah.
Our ABLs are a bit different. You guys focus on like clinical issues, so you get a case study.
Yeah.
But we focus on like social issues, so identity, race, things like that. We've tried to. I'm not cutting this one out. I can't be honest. I don't know why she keeps laughing, but yeah. So it's very much like.
So there's a link back to the thing. Like for example, like when we do EBL, it always like for example we did the lungs and a half not long ago, and our case study was about a guy who was a smoker. So that links to the lungs. So it's like the effect of smoking on the lungs. Oh no,
it doesn't. Ours is more like. So you need to understand that as a doctor, you're gonna meet a lot of people that are different.
Okay.
So you need to be very aware of the inequalities that exist in society, and you know, like with COVID and everything, there's this big opera of like discrimination and like racism in the healthcare system. So we're really like tackling those social issues and discussing them and like basically turning to them. I think it's just to make sure, because when you go through the 5-year course, there's very little social.
Oh no, there isn't. There's like a lot of communication stuff on how to like make sure you like we have like a 2-hour lecture on just like how to talk to people, like just communication. Like if a patient comes to you, is this what you would do? Is that a right thing to do? And it's like I think they've increased it to make sure it's like patient based, because I think one thing that doctors have is like sometimes bad bedside manners. So like that's what they're trying to make sure from year one, that you know how to talk to your patients, you're good, like and stuff. I think maybe that's why they do that.
They're trying to like pump it into the foundation. You're like a lot of that from early on. But then a lot of us are like, we really wish we had more clinical. We would prefer to like
it's good have that much clinical.
What? Trust me, your case is actually talking about someone coughing. Ours is not. We've tried
how are they gonna include clinical? In what way though? Like, do you want to learn more clinical stuff?
Like, no, actually, bring case studies that have clinical.
Yeah, for example, like with us, we don't understand. Like, for example, in the beginning, let's say our first EBL session, and we have Lung and Health. It's like it literally says Jason came to the doctors today and he was coughing and he was worried.
Jason actually went to the doctor. Our own is doctors. Why I found EBL a bit difficult is because, and I spoke about this in my last EBL session, a lot of it is based on like racial issues and stuff. These are things that I face on my everyday life. It's not easy talking about that in a classroom session, and especially like a lot of people don't know how to like, because I don't know if they've never heard racism before or they've never experienced it, and they use the words like fascinating. Oh, this is so like. Imagine someone saying your life is fascinating, like the negative, the struggles that you face are fascinating. So I think for me, EBL I wasn't enjoying it as much because it was like, no, I spoke up about it, and like I think people are like, well, teachers more aware and were making it more clinical. That's why I said that please like bring a case study. Like someone was like, that's why I felt like it's just focusing on like things that I face.
And it's just too
on
much.
my day. It's too. It was getting a bit too much for me. And yeah, I definitely found that difficult, but I spoke about
Yeah.
so we don't do jigsaw. Our placement is very much community based. So for example, my placement is, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I feel like I'm allowed to say it.
Yeah.
Red Cross, like my placement is for the Red Cross. So it's very much, we're not doing any GP, anything, like we're not even smelling us.
I haven't smelled patients yet.
No, but at least you're in a clinical setting.
Oh yeah, my next placement is for the mental patients.
Exactly.
I'm not excited for that.
I don't even know the hospital in this. Don't even smell hospital. Other things that are different with the foundation is we don't get to use the LSRC, which is the life science learning environment, which has the anatomic stable, because Plymouth doesn't do dissection or prosection. Honestly, I was actually looking forward to it, but they don't do that. So we as foundation year, we don't get to access to that side of the university at all. We don't do jigsaw, like I said.
And clinical skills.
Yeah, we don't do clinical skills either.
Which is one of the best part of doing medicine, I can't lie.
Yeah.
You actually, that's the only thing that you do that's actually what a doctor would do. So not long ago I had an exam on like basic life support, and like that counts, and it's quite fun actually.
What else do you guys do that we don't do? What else that you said?
EBP.
I don't even know what that is.
Evidence-based problem. I can't tell you
We
what
do
it is.
EBLs, but I don't know EBP. We don't do
Yeah.
that. And one thing I wanted to say is, and this is something I've asked people on my course. I asked them this question because I was feeling it. I said, "Do you feel like a medical student?" Everyone said no.